Hello, welcome to SquishiVision, where I'm reacting to the first 3 episodes of Ahsoka. I'm going to do it all in one go. Just a whole bunch of things that weren't quite working. Basically, I was at a LARP festival over the weekend, last week, so I couldn't react to the first 3 episodes then. And then when I came back, I tried to, and I came back and I had time to do. I watched the first episode and then OBS was being weird. It's about to like redo part my OBS. Anyway, so I'm gonna try to recall back to the first 3 episodes, but it's going decently okay. I don't think there's anything stand out really that has happened yet, but we're only 3 into 8, so it's still time. I think it's the most clear of the shows. There's a pretty clear narrative going on. There's a pretty clear sorry, I'm just eating with my green mug. I have not food left. My breakfast is mug pasta. What was I saying? Yeah, so I guess it's probably the like clearest of recent shows. Like, I mean, The Mandalorian's pretty clear, but people seem to be pissed off over the like bouncing around narrative, even though that's always what The Mandalorian's done. Obi-Wan Kenobi didn't quite seem to know what it was, but it was alright. Book of Boba Fett was a bit more of a mess. So this seems to be a bit more kind of traditional in its kind of approach to the series. So basically, it's a few years after Rebels. Ahsoka is continuing her mission to kind of find Thrawn. She's convinced Thrawn's coming back, and we know Thrawn's coming back. So here are investigating, but they obviously not being supported a whole bunch by the New Republic, who just want to pretend that everything's fine now that they've won the war. So Ahsoka's trying to find the map that will lead into Thrawn, so that they can find Thrawn first before the enemy finds Thrawn, and ostensibly also find Ezra first, assuming that he's still alive. So she finds the map, but she doesn't know how to unlock it, so they go see Sabine. Here's the kind of biggest plot dump that the show kind of gives us at this point, and that's that. What was I saying, that Sabine, because he became Ahsoka's Padawan in the intervening kind of years between the end of, well, since we last saw them and now, at some point Ahsoka took on Sabine as a Padawan. No, I don't think it explains why. Obviously Sabine has some kind of proficiency with weapons, but no explicit ability to use the Force, and I think that's the interesting thing about how the show's gonna take this, because I do like the approach that really we should kind of, the in-universe approach that, the kind of ratatouille approach to Jedi, that anyone can be a Jedi kind of attitude, and you don't have to be particularly strong with the Force. I like that approach. That's very The Last Jedi. But what I'm worried is they're going to do the twist where actually Sabine has been Force sensitive all along, and it's the same thing that they were going to do with Finn. And I know a lot of people are angry, but they didn't do it with Finn. I'm not entirely sure why. I don't like this idea that to be important in Star Wars, you have to be a Force sensitive user. And I like this idea that to be a competent, Jedi, you've got to necessarily be a Force sensitive. I mean, I'm on the fence about that, because I kind of, they like go hand in hand. But I kind of like the idea really here that what we're saying is Ahsoka sees potential as a being to be a worthy part of the lineage without necessarily being Force sensitive. But if the twist ends up being that she's actually Force sensitive, and I've seen people on Tumblr and Twitter being like, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing her finally use the Force. I'm like, well, it's better than she doesn't. And I really like seeing where she tries to force pull a cup. There's like a shot of her shot her in the cup as if the cup's an inanimate object. That was really funny. But I like the idea, and I like the idea about really it's her competency as Mandalorian that makes her a competent Jedi. So she kind of has she gets the map and tries to decipher it. She's obviously very rebellious in the way that we know Sabine to be. All of the kind of characters here who are adapted from Star Wars Rebels, from animated into live action, do a really good job of conveying that they're the same character but older. It helps me to the time gap, because people forget, cough cough, Luke Skywalker, that people change over time. So that helps kind of smooth over any of like the discrepancies, because these are all different people. You know, Ward changes people. Hero's obviously now a mother now, so that changes a lot of her kind of attitude. Because she's a parent. Sabine's not been in the fight for a long time, so she's kind of adapted to being a civilian, and not really caring about that kind of wider picture. Because of how cute the full cat pet. Ahsoka's just continued being Ahsoka, but being like a wiser and much more independent figure, and you know, now she's able to like kind of go through the galaxy and do her own thing. So they've all evolved, and the show looks all right. It looks, I mean, it's very much, you know, volumetric Star Wars here. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look. It isn't the 1970s, you know, Star Trek, Star Wars. It looks alright. It looks very much kind of okay. Like it's not bad. Like, I'm not being taken out of the narrative. I'm just not being wowed. So yeah, but they're being tracked down by obviously the people who do want to find Thrawn for the Empire, which is, I forget her name now. What's that for me? Ahsoka. Morgan Elsbeth, the Dathomirian, who has like witch blood in her. In fact, actually, she is a Night Sister. I think they revealed on Ahsoka, which is great because I love Night Sisters from Jedi Survivor, which I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play after I've played Star Citizen, because there's a free Star Citizen week. So I'm gonna play Star Citizen while it's free. So her, a ex-Inquisitor who we haven't seen before called Marek, and then two unclear Force users who, I mean, they're clearly dark side users, but they're using orange lightsaber. So, and Ray Stevenson plays, you know, they're more like intimidating, like the one who's in charge of those. And so far, he's done very little kind of action. He's most just there to kind of be the dragon. You've got the foot soldiers or the foot leaders who are. Oh gosh, I need to bring the cast list. I don't know why I didn't bring the cast list. Where is it? Shin Hati, who is Balin's apprentice. I mean, Wikipedia seems to be the Dark Jedis. I don't know if that's been clear in the show. There's actually a lot here that's not actually been said in the show yet. But they're decent. I mean, they look the part. They look intimidating. The costume looks good. The makeup looks great. Marek's been pretty much a silent kind of enemy here, and it's been. I think his identity is somewhat of a mystery that we're meant. I don't know. People seem convinced there's gonna be a revelation involved with Marek. Maybe not. Some Inquisitors we just never see their faces. Others it's a twist. Others it's here it is and we see it and it's like it's just no one. So that's a thing. So they might get the map. So they're on their way to go get Thrawn. We just need to complete this big hyperdrive ring. So at the moment, our protagonists are trapped on a planet, and I feel like we're going to spend the rest of the series. Oh, we're going to spend time here until we jump to find Thrawn. They're going to get a big hyper ring so they can get a massive like ship over to grab Thrawn, and our protagonist is being hunted. We also see like, you know, we're kind of connecting the gap between the sequels and the original trilogy, the sequels, about why the rise of the First Order was inevitable, because the New Republic didn't really do enough to kind of stamp it down. What else? I mean, combat looks great. Well, great, looks fine. Looks solid. Nothing special so far, but that's fine. I think the space combat actually looks kind of decent. I do like the kind of I do think the characters have good connection, good chemistry. I'm enjoying seeing them. I'm enjoying the banter off each other a bit more. This was always going to be a messy kind of reaction because I'm writing these 3 episodes, and I saw the last episode a few days ago because my computer was being weird and at the time I had to like uninstall a bunch of stuff and it was just annoying. And obviously, I think the big thing is seeing Admiral Thrawn back as Lars Mikkelsen. Oh, I mean, and David Tennant as Huang is hilarious. Like, he's just the dry humor at the show. But he plays it straight, he plays it pretty decently. Chopper, great. Everything's great. There's some like canon discrepancies, like in terms of the timeline. Like, we do see a shot. There's like, well, no, there's like one shot in the show which they changed, and that was when Ahsoka, when Sabine's finally ready to rejoin Ahsoka comes back, and in the Rebels, she's there wearing white robes and holding a staff, and clearly, like, we're meant to like infer something big has happened with her arc. Here, she's just wearing a normal like ex-Jedi garb. And I guess it's technically a retcon unless they do the exact same thing a few years later or a few years earlier and they have the exact same positions, which I guess is technically possible. But considering the attention to the details of recreating like other parts, making sure it matches the end of Rebels, and considering that Rebels is Dave Filoni's like, you know, child, I'm surprised we didn't like make up a reason, but who knows. Anyway, like I said, this is kind of a mess of a reaction because I'm trying to remember 3 episodes that I watched a few days ago. I don't make notes because they're meant to be immediately after reactions, and I forgot to do that. So that's just my kind of things. I'm looking forward to the show. I think it's safe, but not too safe. Like, I prefer in shows take risks. I prefer the fact that the Book of Boba Fett took a risk. I prefer that than to when shows basically just play things easy. This show is playing things easy, but it's not going too easy. I'm getting bored, so we'll live with that. Anyway, I'm gonna finish eating a pitiful breakfast. Inevitably, I'm probably going to need to go poo, and then we're going to play some Star Citizen. So, that'll be my gaming channel. Right, cheers.